In the final part of this presentation video series for InfWorks, I want to take you through the animation basics for this design that's come across from Forma. So we have a couple of things just to note here. This is the storyboard creation tool here down the bottom, which you can bring up by clicking on that monitor here. We also have one other tool here for doing bookmarking. So I can go and add bookmarks to my model and click on these, and this will spin round to the views that I've bookmarked. So you can instantly get animations between those by just clicking the bookmarks. What I want to do though is create an animation here down using the storyboard creator. So there's the basic one here, which I'll show you just to quickly get up and running, which is the orbit animation. So I want to do a quick 360 orbit animation around that building there. So I'm just going to do my drop down and go add orbit animation, and like in the last tutorial you can adjust the duration here, so I'll just do it say 10 seconds, hit play, and this is angling left but it's not going down, and it only goes a certain percentage, which is 45 degrees. So we'll stop that, and I want to angle right, and I want to go 360 degrees. You see it's speeding up a bit. But I also want to angle down, so I'll go say 30 degrees down, and we will crank up to 12 and let's see how that goes. So now we're having a little fly around of the building, and we want to finish down low at say ground level and start animating into the building. So that's kind of right. I'll angle down 45 just to update that, and we'll just check that at the end. And you don't have to wait for it to do it, just drag it to the end. So 40, 45, yeah, that's about right. And I'm just going to delete a couple of trees on the fly here just to work with my preferred animation. The next one we can use is a add pan, record, zoom, and then there's a few others here. You can add camera path animation. So what I'll do, I'll just do the let's do this one. So this one here is, we're just going to hit play. It's not doing anything at the moment. You need to do a keyframe 1 and a keyframe 2. So keyframe 1 is here. We want to pick up where we left off on this last animation, and now I want to go to keyframe 2. So I'm going to zoom in to here, and I'm going to use my navigation tools. I use my W and S keys to sort of move around as needed, and click on plus to add that new keyframe. And if we again just crank up the time a little bit, you can see keyframe 1 and keyframe 2, and if you want to play that, that is taking us from that first keyframe through to where I want to end up. So really simple. There's numerous ways you can do this. It just comes down to personal preference. This one's pretty easy. You can also follow or import camera paths and follow design roads. The other thing I want to do here inside of this animation is maybe adjust the sun. So I showed this in the previous animation. I'll do this again, where we just do a quick sun path, and maybe I'll just slow it down a little bit. So we'll just run that for say 7 seconds. There's a quick sun path inside that little bit of the courtyard there. Ignore the people sunken into the ground, that's just because of the way I built this. And we're going to go to the last bit. So again, just navigating along our camera path here. We can also just scale that back a little bit just so we can see everything. So I'm going to do one more keyframe animation. So I'm just creating that for a starting point. Now you'll notice that it has gone back to a slightly different shadowing. So what you can do is you can go maybe to the shadowing area you want, and then just second update. No, if it's not perfect, then you can adjust the sun and sky here as well. Just something I want to show is you can adjust the time to suit, and you probably want to match the same time that's in that sun path. Play around with that, so maybe something at dusk. And you can add cloud cover as well. So maybe in this one we want to add a bit more cloud to show the clouds at sunset. And you can even animate wind speed and wind directions here. So there's a few other tools here inside InfluxWorks to actually add to your animation. So for this last one, I'm just going to reset that. There we go, it's updated in the little screenshot here. And I'm going to move around a little bit to where I want to be for the next shot. And I like to keep everything low, it's just personal preference. So there's keyframe 2, that's appeared in my little thumbnail. And then I'm going to do one last one. Find a shot that we like. And I'll just use my W key just to point down a little bit. And we'll go keyframe 3. And you can see they're all bunched together, so what we can do is within each keyframe, that one's for 6 seconds, this one is for another 6 seconds. Let's just crank that up to see it a bit better. So let's just run that as a tester. It's pretty fast, so I'm just going to speed that up. Sorry, add more seconds. Here, add a few more seconds. So the total length is 29. So total length is starting at 29. And you can add waiting times and fading if you want. I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. Or you could just click on things like set the speed. So that's pretty fast. Maybe we want it to say 5. So let's see how this comes out. So this is a little bit more respectable with the speed. And the transition's not too bad. Maybe there's a little bit too much time between all of it. I can just make these adjustments all in real time. You can see not all of them have adjusted to the speed, so I'm just going to make those final little adjustments to each one. This one's not too fast. Okay, so with that, here's our nice and slow animation. Our clouds animated in the background. And just because I'm hovering with some stuff, that's why it's showing up like that. I'll just bring that back a little bit. So very quickly, we've got a nice little animation inside of InfluxWorks 360, which we can publish out in a few minutes. And we'll get these nice results, which we can then run on our chosen media player. So I'm just going to stop that now and hit record, and I'll use the Windows Media Video here. We'll keep it at 25, and the resolution, I want to make this a little bit nicer now, so I'm going to go 1280 by 960, and now record it to a certain location. So I will keep it here. This will be video 2. Let's run this out. And this one may take a little bit longer than the last one, so I'll just pause this for a sec. Okay, so our recording has finished here. We'll just go OK, and we can navigate to that folder. And here we go, video 2. And I'm going to play this one in. It's going to play in QuickTime, but we'll just run it in the basic media player. And here's our animation. So we've got quite a few seconds of footage here. And it's picking up our animated clouds, our people, our sunpath animation that we added in the middle. Now the quality might look low. You could also run this out as an MJPEG and run it in a tool like Windows Media Player, and I'll show you that in a second. But here's our slower looking animation. I'll just seek forward a little bit. And our final result. So that's the animation workflow. This is the other one I just wanted to show by playing it in QuickTime Viewer. This will actually run a little bit sharper. So you can see it doesn't have those lines like it did before in the VLC Media Player. So QuickTime's quite a good one to run it in. And that's animations out of InfluxWorks 365.